We can continue. Now it's time for question and answer session. And our moderator will be Giulia.
Hi again. And thank you very much for your interesting presentation. I think that all of them are very clear and will allow us to have a fruitful discussion. And I think that we can start, even if I've not received any question so far in our Slido tool. But if you want to open the microphone, and you can also directly ask to the speaker. Otherwise, I can show you the QR code again and we can use the tool, but it's up to you. If someone of you have the pleasure to open the session, I'm okay. Otherwise, I go through Slido so we can break the ice in this way.
And Giulia,
hi.
I would like to start. If
Perfect.
Question. Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank personally Svetlana because she did great work for our deliverables, and her contribution was precious, as I wrote you in the email. So thank you very much for your work. I have 3 questions. I don't know if I can make all of them. I will start with 2. Okay. And if there is time, we'll also do the other one. First of all, I would like to know if the grammar school building is a common architectural and building type in Serbia, and if there are other similar buildings, maybe in Novi Sad or in other big cities in Serbia. And then I have another question on the particular type of interventions on the building. So.
Okay, do you want maybe one at a time, Georgia? Let us maybe answer one at a time if you want, or
yes, one at a time. Thank you.
Okay, maybe let's do it that way.
Yes, because the other is more specific.
More technical, yeah, specific. For first question was whether this type of building is typical for Novi Sad and Serbia. I would say that it is typical for the whole region for that era, for that period, and that is beginning of 20th century, where a large part of the whole region was under Austro-Hungarian monarchy, a part of Austro-Hungarian monarchy. So let's say Croatia was 2. So that's why I'm saying the building in Petrinja, which was damaged, school building, looks very, very similar to this one. They had actually 2 schools next to each other. So as far as Serbia is concerned, from the schools that I know, at least in Belgrade, I wouldn't say that many are, at least they don't have this heritage value. But what I would say from my work on schools is that this shape is pretty typical for schools, that they have these 3 wings and then they are maybe connected or not. I mean, in good scenario, they have joints, but so this shape is very typical. But in terms of the heritage value, I'm not sure. I'm not aware of any building in Belgrade that looks like this. But shape is definitely there. But here is my colleague, I hope he's here, Marko Marinkovic. He worked on the assessment of schools in Serbia. So, and he has seen quite a few schools. There is an ongoing project sponsored by the government of some form of assessment. So Marko, are you, he's here, but I'm not sure. Can you unmute yourself? So maybe he can answer, or maybe later I can send him a message if he may be having a student in his office and all that. So I would say shape, yes, but exactly the heritage, I think this one is really maybe unique and it's considered to be really special based on that. But I think even if it is not so nice, unreinforced masonry building with the same shape would have the same problems.
Yeah, also in Italy, U-shape is a very common type for school buildings, but not so huge commonly. They are smaller in our country, but it is the same shape. So I think it is good for this internal distribution for schools, for example, because they have long corridors and long big halls for lectures, and so it is very usual.
Yeah, newer schools would be small, would have the same shapes, but would be smaller in size, because this was the size of these classrooms is huge. Like according to today's standards, they would not build this big school. So I was, for example, going to a school which was from maybe 1930s, and it was already much smaller. And nowadays they built like it was exactly the same shape and also reinforced masonry, but much smaller in size. So this was, I think, particularly, I think. Fancy, or I would say really unlimited budget kind of a school at that time. So that is so Marco may be able to say when he joins. So maybe let's go to the further questions, and then if he joins, I'll send him a message to answer the question later on if he's not. He's connecting, I think.
Yeah,
Marco?
I think.
Anyways, maybe you can ask
now.
the second question just in the interest, and then
Yeah.
maybe he has a problem also with audio. Go ahead, please.
So I go ahead. I noticed in the video a portion of a glass roof. You call it a dome. And also that the color of the facade changed from white to the actual color. So I guess that there are not many restrictions for protected buildings in Serbia, because this would be impossible in Italy to change the color of the facade in a protected building. So I guess that it is not there are not so tight restrictions.
Okay, that is excellent question. For the glass roof, it is a new, I didn't include photographs. You also have photographs. That is a part of the extensions, not the same one that I've shown. So I've shown the one that was covered normally, but that is like a dome. I'm not sure, we visited it. I'm still not sure what is going to be the purpose of that. I think it's just aesthetic. But and I'm not sure what it originally looked like, but obviously it was possible to make that glass dome, and I think it was not glass in the original building. That is one thing, but obviously it was possible. For this rule about or regulation about the change of, so the facade itself is original and ornaments are original, but the painting, the color of painting might have changed. But when we talked with the director, he was the one who told us with pride that the facade is originally terracotta. The terracotta was exactly the same as it was built in 1901. As far as the rules for heritage buildings in terms of painting, I'm not sure if my colleague Olga knows. She's working a lot with heritage buildings and more familiar with exact constraints about. I'm not sure if Olga, are you?
Yeah, I am on. You're dead right, Svetlana. The regulation for the heritage building does exist. And as all other regulations, it might or might not be fully followed. There is a significant pressure of the Zavodi za zaštitu spomenika, which is I don't really know how to translate that, but it is a regulatory body which is checking the design of refurbishments. But the use of the material that was originally done and with the present material is not the same. So during the weather conditions and the like, they might change some of their aesthetic characteristics. So that is not that easy recognized at the very beginning of the design. So yes, the rules do exist, and designers are trying to meet them and to provide the same appearance of the rehabilitation to the original building, but through the times the material can change some of the aesthetics characteristics.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, George, also for your question. I don't know if you want to do also the last one.
I can wait if someone.
Okay, someone else want to ask something. We have
a general question, not on the building, so I can wait.
Okay. So please, if anyone else want to add something or make a comment.
Yes, Mariana here from
Hi.
Svetlana, it was very nice to hear you again after a while. So it was a very nice presentation about a very nice monument of your Serbian history, actually, educational history, very broad overview. So from the civil engineering point of view, I would ask you only one detail regarding the art structure, floor structure. Actually, in Slovenia, floor structures from that period are mostly constructed of steel beams and between out of brick arches, not out of concrete, which I found out from your presentation. So it is very difficult then to replace this concrete. I suppose that it is not reinforced at all.
Ah, very good point. In fact, yeah, you looked at the original drawing which showed, it seems that was the only detail we could find on the drawing that shows that arch. That's why I was showing it, and because I found it interesting. But I believe in the basement, when we looked at it, we saw that there were bricks in between. So it may be that in some parts, let's say maybe where this ceremonial hall is, it's very difficult to say where there is a large space, maybe they used concrete. But in the basement, they used bricks as far as I know. And in most cases in Serbia too, it is bricks. And they're filled with some, on the top, it's filled with some, I would say garbage, not garbage, but like some really material which is waste. So yeah, no, it's most common in Serbia would be definitely bricks. That's very good observation that here it definitely says beton, it's concrete. But in the basement, it may be that it is only in some parts that the only place where we could see is the detail at the detail of the vertical section, and that was next to it. But we could not see any other detail. But in the basement, it was a bit exposed, so we could see that there were bricks. So it could be that they used both. And you're absolutely right. If it is concrete, then in order to, it's already concrete, but we could add more concrete, or we could do some fiber, you know, underneath and all that. That is also done. We have seen that being done in churches, not in schools here in Serbia. I would say that it would be really expensive, certainly more expensive than concrete, but advantage of doing with fiber, and that way we would leave this on the top anyways as is because they have beautiful flooring in the school, which is also valuable. So in order to add anything, let's say if you want to go with any solution to add something on the top, that flooring would need to be fully removed and maybe it would be restored. But any solution that could go with just going to the underneath would be preferred from that perspective. But in this hall, it wouldn't be possible because the way ceiling looks like, I think it wouldn't be possible. But luckily that hall is at the top level, so we could do on the top of it because it's just the roof, so it wouldn't be a problem. So I feel that, yeah, that's very interesting observation. Very interesting, Mariana. Very nice to see you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much for the question and for your kind answer. And according to the agenda, we are perfectly on time now, but I think that if you want to ask something else, we can also use some minutes again for answering. I don't know if someone else has still some doubts or questions. If not, I just want to tell again, thank you for all the video and also for being so able to pass us also the emotional part of this historic building. So you were able to simulate a sort of real study visit, and I really appreciate it. So thank you very much for all, and also for the technical presentation that helped us to go through in detail in the argument, in the topic, and it's essential to us to reach the goal of this day. So really thank you. And if you don't have any question or other remark, we can see each other in 15 minutes. So 11:55 here again. And now we can take a coffee and just relax a bit.
I would just like to say I apologize. I will not be able to be present for the next part, and my colleague Olga is presenting. I have to go to a funeral, and so I'm sorry about that. So if you have any questions for me, still unfortunately not be present in the next part. So I'll be happy to answer now. Maybe Giulia has another general question that you ask. If you want to ask, I'd be happy to answer now, and then maybe you can extend as you like, or I can answer later by chat when I come back. But that would be outside you will be done. So thank you very much, and I enjoyed the project. It's great to see all the faces. It makes everything more real.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your excellent presentation. Really appreciate it very much.
Thank you, and good luck with the rest of the session, and hope to see you all in future.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Svetlana, puno hvala. Žao mi je što nas morate iz ovakvih razloga napuštati, ali naravno razumem.
Hvala.
Odlični ste bili, hvala.
Bye. Thank you.
So, guys, thank you very much. See you in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
See you.